It is better to keep your mouth closed, and let people think you are a fool, than to open it, and remove all doubt. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. I am an old man, and have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow. Do the right thing. It would gratify some people, and astonish the rest. Let us endeavor so to live so, that when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. Clothes make the man. Naked people have little, or no influence on society. Never pick a fight with people who buy ink by the barrel. Humor is mankind's greatest blessing. When you fish for love, bait with your heart, not your brain. Denial isn't just a river in Egypt. Climate is what we expect, weather is what we get. All you need in this life is ignorance and confidence, and then success is sure. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Don't let schooling interfere with your education. Do the thing you fear most, and the death of fear is certain. Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities, truth isn't. Part of the secret of success in life is to eat what you like, and let the food fight it out, inside. When we remember, we are all mad, the mysteries disappear, and life stands explained. The right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. All generalizations are false, including this one. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Buy land, they're not making it anymore. The lack of money is the root of all evil. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. I can live for 2 months on a good compliment. The best way to cheer yourself up is to try to cheer somebody else up. The human race has one really effective weapon, and that is laughter. Wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. The rule is perfect: in all matters of opinion, our adversaries are insane. If you hold a cat by the tail, you learn things you cannot learn any other way. Age is an issue of mind, over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Patriotism is supporting your country, all the time, and your government when it deserves it. Get your facts first, then you can distort them as you please. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Go to heaven for the climate, hell for the company. You cannot depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus. Good friends, good books and a sleepy conscience, this is the ideal life. There are basically two types of people. People who accomplish things, and people who claim to have accomplished things. The first group is less crowded. The difference between the almost right word, and the right word is really a large matter. 'Tis the difference between the lightning bug and the lightning. Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. Be careful about reading health books. You may die of a misprint. My mother had a great deal of trouble with me, but I think she enjoyed it. Cauliflower is nothing but cabbage with a college education. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. It is by the goodness of God that in our country we have those three unspeakably precious things: freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, and the prudence never to practice either of them. It's no wonder that truth is stranger than fiction. Fiction has to make sense. Let us not be too particular. It is better to have old second-hand diamonds than none at all. Work consists of whatever a body is obliged to do. Play consists of whatever a body is not obliged to do. A man's character may be learned from the adjectives which he habitually uses in conversation. Few things are harder to put up with than the annoyance of a good example. Don't part with your illusions. When they are gone, you may still exist, but you have ceased to live. I don't like to commit myself about heaven and hell. You see, I have friends in both places. Grief can take care of itself, but to get the full value of a joy, you must have somebody to divide it with. Truth is mighty, and will prevail. There is nothing wrong with this, except that it isn't so. Thunder is good, thunder is impressive, but it is lightning that does the work. A man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. The very ink with which history is written is merely fluid prejudice. Man will do many things to get himself loved, he will do all things to get himself envied. Be careless in your dress, if you must, but keep a tidy soul. Apparently, there is nothing that cannot happen today. I was seldom able to see an opportunity, until it had ceased to be one. Training is everything. The peach was once a bitter almond. Against the assault of laughter, nothing can stand. When people do not respect us, We are sharply offended, yet in his private heart no man much respects himself. Why is it that we rejoice at a birth, and grieve at a funeral? It is because we are not the person involved. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. Action speaks louder than words, but not nearly as often. It is curious that physical courage should be so common in the world, and moral courage so rare. Noise proves nothing. Often a hen who has merely laid an egg cackles as if she laid an asteroid. A man is never more truthful than when he acknowledges himself a liar. The man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who cannot read them. Life would be infinitely happier if we could only be born at the age of 80, and gradually approach 18. There is a charm about the forbidden that makes it unspeakably desirable. Man is the only animal that blushes, or needs to. Work is a necessary evil, to be avoided. Facts are stubborn, but statistics are more pliable. Classic. A book which people praise and don't read. When your friends begin to flatter you on how young you look, it's a sure sign you're getting old. Many a small thing has been made large by the right kind of advertising. A person with a new idea is a crank until the idea succeeds. Education consists mainly of what we have unlearned. It is better to take what does not belong to you, than to let it lie around neglected. Civilization is the limitless multiplication of unnecessary necessities. When in doubt, tell the truth. The more things are forbidden, the more popular they become. I don't give a damn for a man that can only spell a word one way. Principles have no real force, except when one is well fed. I never let schooling interfere with my education. When I was younger, I could remember anything, whether it happened or not. A round man cannot be expected to fit in a square hole right away. He must have time to modify his shape. It is my belief that nearly any invented quotation, played with confidence, stands a good chance to deceive. The public is merely a multiplied me. The public is the only critic whose opinion is worth anything at all. Better a broken promise than none at all. The human race is a race of cowards, and I am not only marching in that procession, but carrying a banner. The more you explain it, the more I don't understand it. Drag your thoughts away from your troubles. By the ears, by the heels, or any other way you can manage it. I must have a prodigious quantity of mind. It takes me as much as a week sometimes to make it up. Familiarity breeds contempt, and children. Soap and education are not as sudden as a massacre, but they are more deadly in the long run. Necessity is the mother of taking chances. Truth is the most valuable thing we have. Let us economize it. My books are like water, those of the great geniuses are wine. Fortunately, everybody drinks water. The man who is a pessimist before 48 knows too much. If he is an optimist after it, he knows too little. Honesty is the best policy, when there is money in it. Thousands of geniuses live, and die undiscovered, either by themselves or by others. I was gratified to be able to answer promptly, and I did. I said I didn't know. Under certain circumstances, urgent circumstances, desperate circumstances, profanity provides a relief denied, even to prayer. All emotion is involuntary when genuine. To be good is noble, but to show others how to be good is nobler, and no trouble. It is easier to stay out, than get out. By trying we can easily learn to endure adversity. Another man's, I mean. The finest clothing made is a person's own skin, but, of course, society demands something more than this. To refuse awards is another way of accepting them with more noise than is normal. Name the greatest of all inventors. Accident. Few of us can stand prosperity. Another man's, I mean. The most interesting information comes from children, for they tell all they know, and then stop. We are all alike, on the inside. Nothing so needs reforming as other people's habits. There are several good protections against temptation, but the surest is cowardice. Words are only painted fire, a look is the fire itself. Wit is the sudden marriage of ideas, which, before their union, were not perceived to have any relation. Biographies are but the clothes and buttons of the man. The biography of the man himself cannot be written. It is better to deserve honors, and not have them than to have them, and not deserve them. It were not best, that we should all think alike. It is difference of opinion, that makes horse races. When a person cannot deceive himself, the chances are against his being able to deceive other people. Ideally a book would have no order to it, and the reader would have to discover his own. The wit knows that his place is at the tail of a procession. Let us make a special effort to stop communicating with each other, so we can have some conversation. Which quote did you enjoy the most? Share your thought in the comment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to watch the next video. Subscribe, and watch more of our videos.